13. Joseph and Romane, the baby shark dance. That morning, Joseph and Romane were in a particularly cheerful mood. Dad had promised a surprise after breakfast, and they couldn't wait to see it. "What are we going to do, Dad?" asked Romane, finishing her bowl of cereal. "Today, we're going to learn a dance," announced Dad with a mysterious smile. Joseph and Romane looked at each other, intrigued. "What dance?" asked Joseph. Dad stood up and grabbed the television remote. "Have you ever heard of Baby Shark?" Romane's eyes lit up. "Yes. It's the song with the baby shark." Dad nodded. "Exactly. And today, I'm going to teach you the choreography. That's going to be our challenge for today." Romane jumped up from her chair, all excited. Joseph wasn't sure he wanted to dance. "But that's for babies, right?" Mom, who was putting away the dishes, came over and placed a hand on his shoulder. "Not at all. It's a fun dance that gets everyone moving. Plus, it'll make a great souvenir." Dad started the video and the lively music filled the living room. The first note sounded, and Romane began to dance spontaneously. Joseph, a little embarrassed, remained motionless. Dad started doing the moves, imitating the baby shark, then the daddy shark, and finally the grandpa shark. Romane burst out laughing when she saw Dad enthusiastically doing the moves. "Come on, Joseph." Mom encouraged him. "Let's all do it together." Joseph finally gave in and joined them. Little by little, he let himself be carried away by the music and found himself enjoying himself. They rehearsed the choreography several times until everyone was perfectly in sync. After half an hour of dancing, they took a break to drink water. Romane was as red as a tomato and breathing heavily. "This is so funny. Can we do it again?" Dad nodded. "Let's do it one last time, and this time, I'm going to film it so we can send it to Grandpa and Grandma." Joseph smiled. "And Uncle Max too?" "Of course," Mom replied. "I'm sure they'll love seeing us dance like sharks." They got back into position, Dad placed the phone on a stand, and the music started again. This time, they gave it their all. Romane waved her arms like a hunting shark, Joseph played the strong shark with exaggerated movements, and Dad played the grandfather shark with slow, funny gestures. But suddenly, Joseph had an idea. "What if we invented our own sharks?" Romane jumped for joy. "Yes! I'll be the dancing shark." She began to make graceful movements like a ballerina. Joseph, meanwhile, played the robotic shark, with jerky, funny gestures. Dad, amused, joined in the fun and transformed into a superhero shark, miming combat moves. Mom joined in the dance and played the sleepy shark, yawning and stretching as if she were about to take a nap. When the music stopped, they all collapsed exhausted on the couch, laughing out loud. "We deserve this snack," declared Mom, bringing over a tray of cookies and fruit juice. While they were nibbling, Dad showed them the video he had just filmed. Romane and Joseph burst out laughing at their clumsy but hilarious moves. "We're really baby shark pros," exclaimed Joseph, proud of himself. Mom smiled. "And now we have a great family memory." Dad sent the video to Grandpa, Grandma, and Uncle Maximum. A few minutes later, their phones vibrated. A message from Uncle Max appeared. "You guys are awesome. Next time, I'll come dance with you." Joseph and Romane looked at each other excitedly. But before turning on the music again, Dad suggested an idea. "What if we made up our own shark song? You could make up the lyrics, and I'll play the guitar." The children jumped for joy. "Yes," they cried in unison. Joseph began to think up funny lyrics. "The acrobatic shark, he does pirouettes." Romane added, "The pastry shark, he makes pancakes." Dad started playing a catchy rhythm on the guitar, and the whole family launched into a wild musical improvisation. Laughter echoed through the house, transforming a simple morning into an unforgettable memory.